Bugsy's Corner. Welcome to Bugsy's Corner. Sit back and enjoy.
Hello everybody and happy Friday. I just gotta say one thing. I miss you, Harv the Snowman! I'll see you next year, buddy. Next year. You should have let me inside. Okay. Now that that's out of the way, you guys are probably wondering, Bugsy, why are you not doing Sam Max today? I'm gonna do it on Monday. Monday is gonna be Sam Max. But let me just tell you something. You know what I'm really happy about? The fact that I found out JoJo Golden Wind actually got like a English translation. Well, a fan translation, but I'm still glad that they did that. Because like, you know, without fan translations, we would have got stuff like this translated. And you know what? It's like, because sometimes I'm like, I think the best, I tried to explain this on like the Soccer Wars Reddit, because like legit I tried to explain this, and they like locked my freaking topic for some weird reason. Probably because they saw my freaking streams and thought I was like, oh my god, he's too weird, acting out and stuff. But let me explain. But you know, I mean, you know, I think the only thing we could truly hope for nowadays. Oh, hold on. You know what? You know, I'm gonna have to make this better. Hold on. I don't think I have anything in here, and even if I do, no. For once, I don't have anything in here. So let's just keep it on just in case. So you guys are like, Bugsy, what do you mean fan translation the best thing we can hope for? Because most companies are like, nah, you don't want this old game that's not translated in English. It's too weird for you. But nowadays it's like, maybe let the fans do it, and let's see how many people like get and play this game on their YouTubes and whatnot, their YouTube channels and whatnot, and let's see where we can gauge from there. But yeah, I think like fan translations for like, you know, any of these games are the best we can hope for. You know, because there was a show called You Can Play This, right? And, you know, it just showed you the ins and outs of how you can play something. But personally, despairing the fact that the guy who made You Can Play This was a true monster, despairing that for a minute, I like it better when we can actually, like, at least, you know, read or understand it. Because I know that not everybody is gonna have, you know, a lot of people ain't gonna be like, hey, let's get a bunch of fan voice actors together and dub the thing, because that would probably take too much time. Stuff like that has happened, but not on a big scale. Because then you'd have to, like, they need to have to break the game apart, make sure making sure that these audio files are playing in the right way, and I've never seen it done for a fan translation. Doesn't mean I don't think it could happen though. I mean, someone is making a video translation of the second Sakura Wars. It's kind of catching up after the ending of the one where you choose Samiri. So it's the same ending I chose. So more audio only videos with that. But like, I think like fan translations sometimes are the only things we can hope for. And that depends if the company or studio or whatever decides to go, hey, maybe we should try to literally try to hold on. I had this grilled cheese egg sandwich and I just belched up a little bit of the Tabasco part, so sorry about that. Oh my god. Folks, don't eat anything too spicy before you go on and do some of these videos. I just think I'm just glad that no one threw down a cease and desist like a certain company I know. Looking at you, Nintendo. Looking directly at you. But yeah, Sega and like other companies, they're pretty lax. That's what I like. Just more games that are coming, more games that either get actual translations, official translations, or fan translations. But I think for Sakura Wars, if we want the old games to be translated, I think that is the best we can hope for. Because I don't think Sega's like really wanting to, I mean, they could throw a curveball and actually dub the thing, but I just don't think that, I don't know. I don't think that's technically in the cards for Sakura Wars. So I think fan translations are the best thing we can hope for when actually hoping for like Sakura War games to actually be translated. Of course, 2 is only getting a video translation, which is because one fan's like, hey, I want to share my love with Sakura Wars with you guys. And I know a little bit of Japanese, and my Google Translate will not hold me down, so I'll use Sony Vegas and like translate stuff. I don't think we should ever wait for Sega to like translate something if they're not really interested. I mean, heck, they ain't interested in Jet Set Radio, and guess what we're getting? We're getting like Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, and I personally think that's gonna be pretty cool as well. But yeah, it just kind of shows that certain companies like Sega are just uninterested either in getting us a new game in the series for when it comes to Jet Set Radio, or uninterested in wanting to fan translate all the Sakura Wars games. Like, I even have a title for what the collection could be called. It's like Sakura Wars Legacy of Love, kind of like the DLC you can get on the PlayStation Store for the Sakura Wars game for the soft reboot for it. And let's be honest, tell me that doesn't sound marketable at all. Like, you can't tell me that doesn't sound like gold. So if anybody really wants to go back and play the old Soccer Wars games, they can. I feel like some people will be like, well, it's too old and primitive because, well, you don't level up and stuff. And it's like, nah, it's all about the strategy. The strategy. Heck, there's like a Soccer Wars, like, mini game collection you can play online. I don't think Dreamcast Live will ever bring that back, but it'd be cool. But yeah, let's talk about another thing I want to talk about. Like, bottom line is, I love the fan translations for various games. They need to keep going. Because if the main companies are not going to give us that, we can get it. We can get it in a bunch of different ways. But let me roll back the clock a little bit. Oh no. God, I'm looking at the sky right now, but I don't want to. Alright. Let me just... Okay, let me fix the clock a little bit. There we go. Time is merely an illusion for a person who is God tier. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But let me tell you something. Like, I like the hyperdimension Neptunia series. And I don't mind the spin-offs. But I feel like Neptunia Virtual Stars is pretty good for what it is. I think what's really disappointing is that the newest Neptunia Reverse is coming out, and all that is like this is a remake of Rebirth 1, like how Neptunia VVR, although welcomed, was just a remake of Mega Dimension. And I feel like we need a new game in the series. I feel like we need a cycle of like main game and like three different spin-offs to kind of balance the franchise out. Like we can have like 3 games every few years, right? And then like maybe 2 or maybe 2 more years after that. Hold up, getting a text. Okay, I gotta go. And then I gotta go. But like, the one thing I want to say is, I feel like the Neptunia series deserves to at least be able to go back to the main games, because that's what people want. They don't want like endless spin-offs. You know? As much as I would like a Neptunia dating sim, I think that would be cool, but like, I think having a Neptunia dating sim would be nice for like a little bit, but like, I think we need to go back to a main game. You know, we need to see game industry going up against the threat that only the guys can handle. Maybe we could show off the next forms, because no one shows off their next forms anymore. It's always just the level 1 HDDD forms, but never the next forms that were introduced in Mega Dimension. Like, it's like they don't even exist anymore. It's like they were just a one-time thing, but really, I think like we could totally use that for the next game. You know, or maybe make a game where, or maybe make a mainline game where it's like a parallel to EA. You know, how EA gouges money out of people. We could do something with that, or a whole bunch of other things. Neptunia RPG was a good kind of representation of that because they had people who only wanted 2D games and not 3D games. Because some old gamers do prefer 2D games over 3D games. So that was a good kind of show of like everybody going like, no, 2D games are good and 3D games are bad. I'm just saying we can go further because there's a whole bunch of different concepts we can do. Because the gaming landscape always changes. And Neptune can totally tackle some of those things with its own brand of humor. You know, if you want to make a goofy game, cool, but you can do something like Mega Dimension where it was like both. But then I keep thinking that maybe the people at Idea Factory and Compound Heart are like, maybe like the spin-offs are all we can do because we can't top Mega Dimension. People say like the fandom isn't what it used to be. And to me I'm like, I don't really think that's true. I think the fandom right now is just in a little bit of a loop and probably a little bit of a rut. But it's not like it isn't what it used to be. The thing that's different is that Idea Factory and Compile Heart are too busy trying to, not really milk the franchise, but kind of push it with all these freaking, with all these freaking spin-offs and remakes. Like, I get it. This is like the definitive remake, but I'm like, we don't need any more freaking remakes. Make a new main line game. But make it carry over into Mega Dimension, probably in a big way or a small way. Like have like Uzume and freaking Neptune, Adult Neptune come back after like hanging around the multiverse. Have Umio and like Histoire have like a conversation, And let's bring back the Gold Third. Let's see, let's bring back the Gold Third. Or here's an interesting idea for a spinoff. How about when we actually go into their backstory and how they all came to be? Like, the possibilities are endless. And I love the Neptunia series. Don't get me wrong, but I just feel like if they don't do something like a mainline game every once in a while, yeah, the franchise it'll be like the franchise is milked. But that's how I feel about it. Tell me what you guys feel about it, because at the end of the day, it all boils down to how you guys feel about it, not me. And I want to know what you think about the Neptunia franchise so far. Do you think we need to go back to mainline games? Do you think we need to keep going on with the spin-offs? Or do you think we just need to, or Do some of you just think I just need to shut up about it? You know, take your pick. Because comment down below and tell me. Because I look forward to hearing from you. Peace. And please, more fan translations to various games. Hintity hint hint. I mean, hintity hint hint hint. But, I gotta go.